Hello students, today class we are going to discuss about reason for the color of a various coordination complexes. So in the first case you can see here this is a hexaamine chromium complex, and here one of the amine group has got substituted, replaced with a chlorine. So we can see the both complexes are exhibits a different colors. Usually the color of a coordinated complex arises due to the electronic transitions between the two D levels, that is a T2C and EC. That is the reason these are the transitions are said to be DD transitions. Okay, and here because of the involvement of orbitals of D orbitals are involved. Obviously here you can see the color exhibited as intimately related to the magnitude of difference between these T2C and EC, right? So here you can see in the case of hexaamine chromium complex there is a large difference is there, the del value, as because ammonia considered as a strong field ligand, and when we are replacing one of the ammonia with the chlorine, as chlorine is a weak field ligand, so here what is going to happen, there is a less energy difference between the T2C and EC. And here you can see since the spacing, this spacing between the T2C also depends upon the factors, not only the nature of a ligand, it also depending upon the geometry and as well as oxidation state of a metal and the nature of ligand. Okay, all these factors will cause this difference of del value. So in this particular case the chromium hexaamine complex usually absorbs light in the, here you can see, violet region. It is going to absorb light from violet region and it is going to emit the light and the complementary color yellow. That is why this complex used to exist in the yellow color. But when we replace the ammonia with chlorine, this complex used to absorb light in the yellow color and it is going to emits the violet color. That's why it used to exist in the opposite complementary color. This color wheel is so important to understand the color here. And the next question you can see here, that is what is the reason, this is the orange color of a Cr2O7 2- is due to. So usually the perchromate, that is a permanganate and dichromate complexes are showing high intense color because of a charge transfer spectrum. So what does mean by charge transfer spectrum? So there is a large charge difference between the metal and ligand. Here there is no change in the d orbital electrons arrangement, but here there is only change is occurring due to the charge transferring from ligand to metal or metal to ligand. You can observe in the case of Cr2O7 the chromium used to exist in +6 oxidation state and O oxygen is in the -2 oxidation state. So as it is electronically rich oxygen can donate electron density towards chromium and it was equally shared with opposite spin and it is going to form a charge transfer complex. So in this charge transfer complex usually the ligand orbitals are acting as a donors and metal orbitals usually act as a acceptor, and this is a allowed transitions. You can see this is a spin and Laporte allowed transition. So because of this charge transfer spectrum, the K2Cr2O7 and KMnO4 used to exist in a high intense color. Not only this one, you can also see the reason for the Prussian blue, intense blue color, and ferric thiocyanate color, and the potassium dichromate and permanganate. All these are actually showing a very intense color because of this charge transfer spectrum. So the next question, the purple color of a iodine vapor is due to. So you know that iodine is a sublimable solid. Sublimable means the iodine directly converts from solid to the gaseous state. There is no liquid state here, and iodine generally used to exist as vapors, that is a violet vapors you can observe. Why? The reason here is that intense color of iodine is because of pi star to sigma star transitions. This is very important. In the case of iodine there is no DD transitions are possible, at the same time there is no charge transfer is possible. Still it is showing very intense color. If you look for the EMBO diagram of iodine, so as iodine is consisting 2s2 2p5 outermost electronic configuration, you could see here in the EMBO diagram of iodine Here the HOMO, that is highest occupied molecular orbital, is which one? Pi star. And the LUMO, lowest unoccupied molecular orbital, is sigma star. So there is only possibility of a transition from pi star to sigma star, right? So that's why, because of these electronic transitions, the iodine usually exhibits a very intense purple color. So come to the next question, that is why does the lowest energy charge transfer band appear in the case of KMnO4, that is around 80,000 inverse centimeter, and for the potassium dichromate we used to appear in 26,000? The reason here, so both are actually example for charge transfer complexes, but when we look for the chromium and manganese sizes, manganese usually having a smaller size and higher charge. So as it is consisting a smaller size, so it used to have a high effective nuclear charge, and because of this high effective nuclear charge of the manganese, so what will happen? The energy of acceptor molecular orbitals is going to decrease. You can see this is a molecular orbital, this energy is going to decrease. In the case of manganese, this is going to decrease. So the total charge transfer frequency energy also decreases. That is the reason the KMnO4 used to exist the charge transfer band at 18,000 inverse centimeter. Here you can see this is showing a low charge transfer band frequency than chromium. And the next question, the radiation of 10 to the power of 14 Hz falls in the region. So you know that electromagnetic spectrum has having a different regions, and here this is the particular radiation 10 to the power of 14 Hz is falling under visible region. We know that 10 to the power of 14, see here in this diagram, this is a 10 to the power of 14. So just below to this, before to this, at 10 to the power of 15 Hz is considered as a UV region, and after the 10 to the power of 13 or 12, this is a near IR and far IR. So this is a IR region. So exactly 10 to the power of 14 is falling under the visible region. This is all the responsible for electronic transitions. And the next question, what happens if the absorption of electromagnetic radiation for an octahedral complexes falls in the UV region? But suppose here you can see, when a sample absorb light, in the UV region, that usually appears in a white color. So those compounds which are absorbs the light in the UV region, that usually be colorless. You can see many of the metal carbonyls like chromium carbonyl, molybdenum carbonyl and tungsten carbonyl. Usually it is a colorless white solids. Why? Because these are generally absorbs the light from UV region, right? And as we know that if sample is absorbs light from all visible region, right, if it is absorbs, it used to appear in the black color, and if the sample absorbs no color from the visible region, that appears in the white color. So that's why the answer you can write, those compounds which are absorbs region from the visible UV region, that usually exist in the white color. So thanks for attending the class.